I know somebody saw my last video and thought, nah, she just chilling. I'm plotting with snacks and strategy. Some people think soft life means lazy. That's what I'm getting at. And I call it strategic rest. So let's be real for a minute. We all grew up in this grind culture. And if you were not booked and busy, you were behind the time. And I've learned that stillness is still a skill. And soft life isn't just about slowing down, it's about slowing right. Today, I'm sharing how I'm still moving and getting through processes without the hustle. And to me, when you choose a soft life, people will always assume you stop working, which is so ridiculous, right? But what you've actually done is change how you work, how that looks, how you show up to the world. Like for me, that meant letting go of panic productivity that I have to do. I was in the habit of staying busy just to feel worthy, thankful. So now I'm focused on progress with peace, the kind that doesn't require any apology to crash or take a nap. Like no apologies. If I'm tired, I'm tired. I'm going to take rest. You're not behind for moving slower. You're building something that really is going to last. So I get a lot of questions. And if you see me looking this way, I'm looking at my computer. So one of the questions came in. How do you know the difference between resting and procrastination? Well, I feel that rest refuels you when you're trying to prepare for something. So you're preparing for something, you need the rest, and you get the refuel from taking a nap or going to bed early. So I think the difference is intention. I'm resting with intention. I'm procrastinating because I don't want to do. Procrastination is, I think there's going to be a negative result. So I prolong getting it done. That's what I feel. So I think the difference there is intention. Another question I got is what system has actually helped your peace? So I have a 3 rule system: schedule it, simplify it, and say no to it. Okay. No is an entire sentence. And before I get into all that, let me circle back a little bit. So, right now, because I'm building systems before sales, because to me, soft life without structure leads to stress and like stress with candles. Like you can still have stress and light a candle and try to relax, but you're still stressed. So, I'm learning CRMs, client touch points, and automations that make my future feel and business my future and my business feel like it's running smoothly or as smoothly as possible, and I'm not sprinting afterwards or sprinting to catch up with what I need to get done. So I'm organizing all my digital files, I'm setting up templates, I'm planning content from my calendars, and that's because clarity for me is a form of self-care. I like to be clear on what I need to do. What are my 5 touch points of today? What do I need to get done next week? What does my day look like? When are my naps scheduled? When is my downtime? My mall time, my rest time, my chill time? When is that on my schedule? And that's my form of self care. Might be funny to some, but hey. Another thing is my Google Drive is basically a part of my wellness routine. I'm just being very honest. Staying organized makes me feel better about making decisions in a hurry and making a decision on a fly. So I just want to tell you, if you're starting business or career pivot, build systems while you're quiet. Like while there's no phones ringing and there's no demands, no fires you have to put up, that is the time to build your systems. Right now, with the government shutdown and things that are going on that are different, everything's moving a little different. This is the time to scale back and to build systems, not necessarily to press forward into stressing out about not having clients. Build your system because automation will replace anxiety if everything's on automatic. Okay. So, again, to answer the question, what system that I actually use to help me stay peaceful? My 3S rule: schedule it. If it's not scheduled, a phone call, to do list, checking emails, running to the mall. If it's not scheduled, it's not getting done because to put it in the midst of my day, I have to move something else. And that's unfair to the rest of my schedule. So, number 2 is simplify it. I try my best to simplify everything. If I need to create templates or automated emails or a sales funnel or anything that could be simplified. Someone is going to this place on Tuesday. On Tuesday, when you go to the grocery store, can you pick me up a pack of chicken, a salad, some butter, a carton of milk, and a loaf of bread? Simplify it. And I have learned number three is to say no. Every event I don't need to be a part of, every phone call I don't need to take, every email doesn't require a response because it is eager to the person that sent it. Sometimes it's okay not only to say no, but to put a comma or a pause on it. Responding to an email, I love to be a part of your so and so, but unfortunately, I need time to process and to view my calendar to see if it's a good fit for me and my lifestyle. It's fair. Okay. I think for me, everything I do falls into one of those three categories. And it keeps me from like confusing motion with meaning. Just because you're moving a lot doesn't mean you're getting anything actually done that moves your will. Another thing I really like to work on is learning without overwhelm. Something I've always done is I've always been a deep dive into strategy and not really to chase any trends, but to build consistency, especially here on YouTube. And I study analytics, I learn the hooks, I plan and batch film days, I track what resonates most with my audience. And my goal has never been perfection, but it's rhythm. It's getting in the practice of doing this over and over and over so it builds endurance and rhythm and where I'm able to speak on a fly about anything in the world in which I maintain. If I started working out and I ran 10 laps today to get ready for a marathon, tomorrow I'm going to be in pain. I believe in taking small steps and building up. So that rhythm, that movement, that consistency, whatever word you want to use for that, is how I build my legs, my strength, my endurance. And that keeps me from burnout. So I'm getting my PhD in press record anyway. I don't have to look lovely. I'll throw a filter on it. I'm feeling really bad about how the video looks. If I'm in the car and I have a thought I want to share, I'm sharing it. Pressing record. I also believe in teach and tell. The soft life version of hustle to me is intentional curiosity. I'm learning because I want to learn, not because I'm scared to fall behind. I'm really making learning about my curiosity. And I learn about all kinds of stuff, not just real estate, but what's happening in other markets, what people are doing, what keeps a person from buying a home. Again, not just real estate. I learn about animals and food and cuisine and community and development and all sorts of things. Love natural cures for the body. So that is one of my big things. So a question I got about this is, and I feel like this is a great time to discuss, is how do I stay consistent when no one is watching yet? Ooh, that's a biggie. And a stinker. It feels funny when you're talking to zero. But believe me, you're never talking to zero. You're always talking to someone. So to answer the question, how do I stay consistent when no one is watching? And I want you to hear that no one's watching yet. They will be watching. They're just not watching yet. So I always say, remember why you started. Why? For me, I'm not filming for algorithms. I'm documenting my life, my lifestyle, my alignment, and how I grow. This is documentation to me. It's like taking old photographs and putting them together in one of those old photograph books, except we don't have to use photograph books anymore. We just use YouTube. Okay. And you remember the why you're doing this or why you started. It doesn't matter if anyone's watching or not. You just become that crazy lady or guy who's talking to a camera and nobody's on the other side. That is a joke and probably a bad one. But anyway, it doesn't matter who's watching right now or not yet. They will watch eventually. Okay. Another one of my notes I have here, and that's why I'm looking at my computer. So one thing I also do is in calm season, and I call this calm season because it's the pre, and then we got the shutdown and things going on, and everybody's in this weird little panic, and then we got holidays around the corner. So while I'm in this calm season, I like to network with ease. I'm looking for open houses that I can just go chat. I'm looking for a time to drop in, builders community just to go chat and see, coffee chat with old friends, LinkedIn messages. I'm going in creating messages. I said open house drop ins. I'm trying to have more intentional conversations, not campaigns, because I think there's a time for a campaign and time for a sales tactic in business, but it's not always the time. So right now I'm building relationships, networking, and be for me, because people remember my energy before my expertise. They're going to say, I met Black Girl Blonde at this little event. It was a tea party in Germantown, which I really did go to a couple week ago. Y'all, it was incredible. And what was so fascinating, this is just a side note from my notes. A friend had a Friendsgiving and she hosts tea parties, a wonderful. I will link her information here in the description box. It's a wonderful display for birthdays, for welcome dinners, for holidays, for sorority and I don't think fraternities, but possibly for sister clubs and women's groups. And it's just a lovely experience. And it was decked from top to bottom, beautiful. So many people were there, and I was just amongst new friends and children. And children have made groups with other parents and other children, and then the parents, and then you become, those that have children, you know what I'm talking about. Like your friends, not your friends, they're your child's friend's parents. Okay, anyway. But every one of them was a business owner. I don't think this was even intentional, but everyone was there having a great time and able to talk about flowers. I had flowers to my east, and I guess that would be west. And to my east, I had a photographer. It was amazing. So use your downtime, this or calmer season, to network, to build your relationship this way and not necessarily for a sale. Okay. Again, it creates more memory. You can always circle back and, hey, I met you at this event. Do you mind sharing the fact that I'm a local landscaper? Okay. Last week, I had this comment and it just kind of popped up to me. A realtor agent told me, your calm is your edge. It reminded me that soft life doesn't dull you, it refines you. That's just the way I think it's best to move. Softer, gentler, still have your standards. That doesn't mean soft doesn't mean I'm walking over I'm allowing someone to walk over me or they're that much different from me. It's just the way I choose to live my life without the hustle culture and that huge grind that says I got to work 16 hours a day to produce an income. I just don't subscribe to that anymore. Okay. So a question I got, and I thought this was really fascinating, and I want to answer it here. Can you really grow without grind? So I'm going to say absolutely. My biggest mentor, actually, I have two now that I'm thinking about it. They're both anti grind. And I was back in the grind culture. Yes, I would spend all my waking moments trying to make a dollar and contact clients and get quotes and do this and that marketing and advertising and trying to find the next best in to produce income. Working at that level will build speed, but I will guarantee you through firsthand approach, because I can tell you in my personal life, that grind built me right into panic, inability to shut off, inability to shut down, inability to connect on a deeper level, to really see my worth outside of my sweat, inability to sit still, inability to think, inability to grow as a business, as a person, as a woman, because I was so busy shuffling all the time. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. I was too busy to think. When you're too busy to think, you can't create, you can't create, you can't grow. So for me, grind, yes, builds speed. If you got to do it fast, go out there, hustle. You want to do it right? Get your system, some stillness, gain stability. Moving on. Soft life doesn't mean stuck. It means you're preparing your peace on purpose. If you're in your own building season, studying, you're saving, you're starting something new, you're not behind. Getting ready to arrive rested, full throttle, filled with energy, magic, wonder, create. Maybe you're watching today from Dallas, DC, or right here in Nashville, and you've been wondering if calm can still be productive. I want to tell you, I'm proof that it can be. I am Mara, Black Girl Blonde. your 615 realtor, and see you next time.